We have with us today the CEO of Delight Cafe, Brandon Croucher. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Oh, I got a thumbs up back there. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brandon Croucher. I am the CEO of Delight Cafe CBD. I created a line of products to be able to help people break down barriers of what is going on in the CBD industry and the cannabis industry to help them be able to pick what they want. Well, the thing is, when you open up your company and then a pandemic hits and makes everybody angry and stressed and all that, it's really good for CBD sales, but not good for B2B sales. They don't want to add something new for some of them. So I had to figure out a new way to twist what I was doing and connect with my customers. So what I did is we created an online platform, or a digital cafe. And the main reason I started this was to be able to provide everybody a chance to get in and try and have their questions answered about what is CBD. One thing led to another, and I watched how my customer base started wanting to know more things. They wanted to be able to find more about themselves. We opened up and started a podcast that we did a morning show with. We did a leadership conference where we actually focused on people being able to take their favorite movie characters, such as Aquaman to Soul. I forget that guy's name on Soul, but we'll call him Bob. Joe. Oh, wow, that should be easy to remember. But you literally are able to connect a leadership quality and find where you connect with it to build a tool belt for yourself. Now, customers are always different, as all of us know, and we're trying to find out who is our customer base. Who are we actually selling to, and what are they wanting? For me, in my company, it's happiness. We focus on being able to provide everybody a chance to find that spark inside themselves, that spark that gets them going and builds their best self up. So, 2020, I'm sure everybody in here, all 12 of you, can raise your hand and say, 2020 had its ups and downs, but you probably learned a lot from it too, wouldn't you say? Did you learn about yourself? Yes. Perfect. Would you say that the people in your life maybe changed a little bit, and the people that you surrounded yourself with all of a sudden are not the same that you had before? Unless you're married, then I know you stuck with your significant other. Our circles got smaller. Our customer base has changed a little bit because people were feeling a different energy about themselves and who they are. They were wanting to be able to know what's going on in this world through a world of confusion. And being an individual that doesn't like to be confused in any way and wants to ask questions all the time, I literally started to ask, what can we do to connect to our customers in such a stressful time? So we started asking them, we'll provide more content on exercise. So what do? Make people laugh. Throw on a onesie. They make adult onesies. They're on clearance at Target. Trust me, it's worth it. Find your favorite Care Bear, dress up, and start working out for people, right? Nobody else wants to do that with me? Aw, guys. So for real though, what is your way of connecting with your customers? They want to exercise. We have to break down those barriers of why aren't they going to the gym already? Is it that buff dude that nobody really wants to go work out around because he is intimidating? Or is it more the fact that people are wanting to truly just get that understanding of what the workout is? So providing a digital platform where our customers are able to say, I would like to learn how to do a proper curl, how to do the proper leg lifts, and why being at home, I can actually be able to work out with my natural everything around me house goods. So come on in. I'd love to have you. I bring them in. So for me, I looked around and I started looking at what else we had. And I talked to my staff and we were looking at how everybody's mentality had changed and how we're hearing this more and more today. Mental health, mental health, mental health. And for me, I have a mental illness. I am bipolar and ADHD. I am always moving 100 miles an hour, but it's not my downfall. It's about being able to find my weaknesses and make them my strengths. And I had to figure out how to do that to lead my company the best. So what did I do? I turned around and we started talking about, what do you do at a car wash? Start at the top and work your way down. So we start working on ourselves, and we started looking at meditations. We started talking about prayer. We started talking about changing the words we use. Next thing we know, just by changing my words and my staff forcing them to start changing their words, we noticed this huge change in not just our customer base, but the interaction with our customers. We created a community that then people know they can feel free to ask questions, not only about CBD, but they can ask questions about health, wellness. I didn't hit my timer, so please tell me when I'm near my time. I just realized that. I looked over to see how much I had left. Health, wellness, being able to find them. Each one of us have that spark. And I like to find a way to have people find that spark inside them, get it going, and then keep it going. I'm not telling anybody we have the answers because your customers are always changing like your business is. You have to adapt. So for me, being able to help people, show people that there's other things we can do and how we can connect is essential. Listening to my customers was not easy because I did not want myself to look weak. I did not want to be able to go in front of them and talk to people about being a leader, but I still have my own days where I'm like curled up in a corner crying because of my bipolar. And then I learned I got to break those stereotypes for myself. For real, once I started doing it, I watched people one by one start changing their lives. And I'm not saying I had anything to do with it. I literally just heard what they wanted, from meditations to how they can exercise to even diet to how you speak. And we watched our customer base start to change the way they talk. And then they want to bring their family in and their friends in because their life is changing as well. The words they chose started to switch inside them. And the customer base that we were trying to figure out how do we sell CBD to, oh, everybody's stressed, all of a sudden turned into, wait a minute, they're finding the positives. They're switching the mentality of what everybody else is saying. You go through social media, how many of you are tired of seeing everybody fight on two polar opposite things, from Republican, Democrat, to get the shot, not get the shot, to whatever it may be? There's so many things people are fighting about. Switch that and make the conversation about how we can get through it. And the community then turns around, builds up together to help one another. Now, I'm a little bit different of a speaker. As you can see, I'm on the board here. I have no slides or anything because the one that I sent them, I felt convicted was not actually my best presentation. And I stepped away and I literally said, can you just delete that for me? Because I want to talk to everybody straight. How can I connect with everybody here to tell you how to connect with your customers if I can't connect with you guys individually? So, for you guys and your businesses, you guys are all IT tech people. So when I come to you guys, I'm asking for help. I'm not a tech guy. I literally am the guy you put to go make crazy things happen. I love that. But with tech, you guys have a way of being able to know from the data how people think, how people do, but are you really connecting with them? What do you guys notice about your companies, your businesses, that maybe is helping build your content? What are you bringing that is changing the energy for your companies? I'd love to hear somebody throw something out that they've done with their business. Anybody? Raise your hand and I'll yell to you. Nobody. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much. So I will go on a different tangent then. So for me, we all read a lot of books. I'm sure you guys read. Just because business owners, entrepreneurs, we're all told to read all the time. One of my favorites is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs knows the importance of connecting with your customers. He says, you've got to start with a customer experience and work backwards for the technology. Not start with, let's sit down with an entire group of engineers and figure out what awesome technology we have. You could have the best technology in the world. You could literally have developed the cure for cancer, guys, but if you have not been able to connect with your customers by hearing what is different and showing the difference, you all know you're failing. What Steve Jobs did is he looked at what people were wanting. They were wanting a way to be getting their information faster. And then what happened? We all got iPhones. I have a Google phone, so don't worry, it's different. But we all found our tech that we connected with. And he was able to provide us a way by thinking of why we needed it and what we as customers would want. For me, as I build my customer base and my consumer base, I turn it to Steve Jobs and I see what he says about this. And I see that he says how we have to connect with our customers so differently, and he provided them what they wanted. Then I turn around and I think of Richard Branson, who literally says, happy customers are not going to be your best customers. The ones that are going to be there are happy employees. If you make your employees happy, they're going to make your company happy, and the customers follow. So for me, I look at the leadership style of these two very powerful individuals who have led very big companies, and they tell us, be able to connect with your customers through seeing what they want, like Steve Jobs, to making sure your staff follows that vision, follows that pride. Because my whole brand is based on finding a way to find my happiness. Because I'll be honest, guys, I am like any other man. Some of you will say I'm not like this, but go ahead. Every guy knows that feeling of anger just overpowering them. It's something where you don't feel heard and you want to be talked to. And my brand had to be able to break that from me to be a better leader. So I say, if you stay calm in every situation, that was the B, calm in every situation, it can be balanced and you can end in a delight even if you disagree. And the thing is, we are not having a calm conversation nowadays. Our customers are being filled with anger online, to our customers being filled with anger just walking the streets, whether to wear a mask or not wear a mask. How do you connect with that? You have to be able to be the difference. Your light inside you could be something as small as just staying calm, to being that person that just listens. But at the end of the day, you as a leader for your companies, getting your staff to follow that same mindset and change everything about their inside of how they think helps get to your customers. At lunch, how many of us saw the young lady stand up on the chair and yell about the food? Everybody, I bet, right? I thought it was hysterical because I was on the side eating. My staff told me I had to eat because I didn't eat yesterday, I guess. And they literally, hi Joe, they literally go and I watch them walk right up to her. And they're like, it sounds like you're having a bad day. Here's some CBD. We'd love to help you. Now, that sounds fun and funny and stuff like that because she was in an angered state and it helped brought her down. But the thing is, that's what I want. When somebody's in their worst state of mind, your customers are not seeing what you want. You have the vision in your head. To get it out means stepping outside of your comfort zone to hear what the customer wants. And trust me, that is not easy to do. So for everybody here today, I'm going to look at my time so I don't go over. I still have 10 minutes. Woohoo! So for everybody here today, I challenge you. And I love challenges. You can ask my staff. They like to find things they don't think I can do. And then they say, all right, B, I challenge you to do this. Such as go win a healthcare award. How do you win a healthcare award with a product that is still labeled a Federal 1 felony in certain states at times? How do you do that? By literally going and changing the mold of what everybody else thinks. Find the things that are missing to connect with people. With tech, you guys are able to know your customers in such a way you can help guide them into being able to look at their data points, put them into where they need to go and guide them the best way possible. So, I challenge every one of you today. Ask your staff, ask your customers, and ask the people who you trust the most to go out and just find what they can do to help your company and what the needs are that are missing. The reason I say that is because when you drop your ego at the door and you hear what the customer's saying, the business changes so much because the customers want to talk about you. The customers want to hear what you're going to do and want to hear what you're going to bring. They want to support a business they believe in. The next generation, we're already hearing about it. They're not about, they're brand loyal, but they're not corporate. So being the future that we have now, being what we have coming up, all that anger, all that anxiety, all that pain that we have felt through 2020, guess what? This is 2021. Make yourself number one in 2021 by giving everybody else the chance to see the different you. Be calm, be balanced, and and be delighted by showing the world the different you, because your customers will see it, your employees will see it, and best of all, your pocketbook will see it, and you'll feel better about how you're paying your bills. So I would love to take any questions or anything. I know I'm a little bit early, but I'm all about being able to talk with you guys and have some fun. Any questions? Brett, you're allowed to ask one too. So that's actually one of the reasons we're here, is I would like to take my company internationally. The website is focused on being, the name of my company is Delight Cafe. It's because while the main focus was CBD at first and the cannabis plant, being able to provide people a platform for where they can go to ask their questions. If you were to go out to meet your friend right next to you for a cup of coffee to have a conversation, what do? You meet at a cafe, right? We all do that internationally. You go to Italy, what do they say? Oh, meet me at the cafe, right? Being able to provide a digital cafe opens up the doors for conversations that people are afraid of. So internationally, absolutely want to do that 100%. I see you over here. I want to be able to have people feel they can break their barriers, find that light inside themselves and spark that. And that's all I'm here to do, is help people find that spark and do it. Because we can change the world together, but it starts with changing ourselves. I see you. Yeah.
Can you speak about some of the products that you offer?
So I created my own line of CBD products. It is odorless, colorless, tasteless CBD that you can add to anything. And I get asked a bunch of questions all the time, like, why'd you put them in individual packets? Well, the truth is, when you get an oil, you have a dropper, right? You see all these companies and CBD being sold at gas stations and all this stuff. The oil, they tell you it's water soluble, and then you go to put it on your coffee, your water, your tea, whatever, and it's like, that didn't dissolve in there. That's still oil on top of my drink. So how do you get that to a powder? Well, what I did was I worked with a bunch of colleges, and I traveled around the country. I slept on the floor in a grow facility in California to learn about this plant. Because the truth is, my mom was taking 11 pills a day. Uh-oh, she's coming to get me. My mom was taking 11 pills a day for restless leg syndrome, and she literally told me day in and day out, that is an illegal drug, I won't ever do it. And I'm a former youth pastor, so hearing her say that, I know where her mindset is. Breaking that barrier was being able to provide a product that she can add to anything, letting her choose how she wants CBD. Then I had to choose, do I want a isolate, broad spectrum, or full spectrum? I can explain those more in depth later, because that'll make me go on a tangent you guys just don't want, and it's a lot of fun. But for me, it's, you were able to open it up. A full spectrum product gives you the entire hemp plant, making it benefit your body to the absolute most that it's supposed to do. Better than an isolate, better than a broad spectrum. So 15 milligrams can take someone that's 5'0" little girl, that we all knows got that anxiety, and then take that 6'4" man that has those anger issues, and they can put this in their coffee. They can sprinkle it on their lunch like you did. They can literally put it on anything. Heck, share it with your dog like my mom does now. She opens a pack, puts it on the dog's food, opens another pack, puts it in her morning coffee. The thing that happened was she watched this dog that she just adopted. She wanted to rescue this thing that was beaten and hates everything. She wanted to see if the CBD would do a difference, and she was willing to try it on my pets first. Within 3 days, she had both dogs doing it, and within 7 days, she and my dad were sharing CBD with the dogs, all having their delight time together. So for me, I have one product right now. I've developed more. All of my products are compostable, so you literally are delighting yourself and the earth, made from the exact same plant that you're using to benefit yourself. So you're literally helping change the world by, you're literally able to change the world by being able to provide yourself that time when all of a sudden we're running a few minutes late on getting into the presentations. Your employee drops their coffee on their computer and has a reason they're not working. You're on a bad date. You're able to reset that anxiety by just opening up a pack of Delight, pouring it on whatever you need, and finding your balance in life again. I will be coming out with 2 more products, 3. I'm gonna have a 30 milligram and a 50 milligram, not just the 15, because we all have those days where we just hate everything. And we all know that feeling. We're like, I don't like people today and I don't want to deal. Guess what? Now you have a chance to be able to open this up, find your balance in life. My other product is the one that I'm actually having a lot of fun with. It is patches. You guys have seen K-tape in that. Everybody knows K-tape. It's the patch that goes on your arms. You see basketball, football players wearing it to help them. We are working with K-tape directly right now to create a K-tape patch. So you get 10-inch strip and you can put it anywhere on your body and it will not come off for 3 days, whether you're in the shower, working out, whatever. And then when you take it off, you can literally just toss it and it's compostable as well. Why? Because we're tired of having garbage, we're tired of filling our landfills, and at the end of the day, if nobody's gonna do anything about it, let's use the plant that's been a racist plant for years and change the effing world. Excuse my language, I shouldn't have said that like that, but I literally believe it with a passion. So for me, we can help change society by being able, opening doors, breaking barriers, and seeing how we can just build ourselves up, and then we're able to give back to others. I like to challenge people, like I said. The other thing that we're doing is I had a fun conversation with someone yesterday. On the inside, there's going to be like a fortune cookie. Instead of it being like go be the change you want to see in the world, Gandhi, it's going to be go hold a door for somebody and don't expect a thank you. Go buy a cup of coffee for someone that you normally wouldn't buy a cup of coffee for. When you're in line at McDonald's and you're really hating yourself for getting McDonald's, do yourself a favor and buy the person behind you a meal as well. Why? Because if you start making those little changes, it's the ripple effect that all leads, the butterfly effect, whatever words you want to use it, goes from one to the other to the other. And if somebody else stops that ripple, guess what? You still do you, and you change the world.
Where we get it from?
DelightCafe.com. My logo's here. Can we post it up here? So it's very simple. You see that? My goal, like I've said, I tell you, I'm very open. My whole business plan is online for people to read. I believe that if we all focused on being able to love ourselves first, that spark that I talk about brings it into all of us, and that creates that fire. So, like I said, I'm a former youth pastor. I use scripture, and I use other religions to talk about what we need for each other. And what's fun for me on that is all religions talk about love, peace, patience, and everything else is about how we can start a forest fire through the words we choose. When I read that in Mark, the book of Mark, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I literally saw that the words I chose started influencing the people around me that work with me to the people around me that are actually wanting to see that difference. And as I stepped into my role and saw the difference, it was a blessing to be able to show this to everybody else. And once they start seeing it in themselves, it's just contagious. Literally, you watch people start to find their best self. They step out of their skin and be them. Hope that answered your question. DelightCafe.com. Anybody else? No? All right, guys. Oh, wait, right up here. Joe. So last night, I went to a steak joint, and instead of ordering steak, I ordered a kale salad, and it has not been let down yet. I've had multiple people come up to me and tell me, they're like, I heard you had a kale salad. I like kale, all right? It's a good green. You're supposed to eat greens. My logo's green. Everything I wear has got some green in it. Nope, that's got black. So for me, yes, I did order a kale salad, but the thing is, I looked at my life and I looked at how I was feeling in that moment, and I said this to everybody there. In that moment, my stomach didn't want meat at 10 o'clock at night. It didn't want that great piece of steak that everybody was sharing with me. I wanted it, but my body said no. And I had to listen to that. And that's been the hardest thing for me, is listening to what my body tells me to do. Following what it is telling me is the right thing for me to do. So when I ordered the kale salad and I got laughed at because I'm at a great steak joint, I understood why that would be the concept. But for me, I was presenting in front of you guys today, and I wanted to bring my optimal self. I didn't want to show up and have a stomach that was full. I didn't want to show, even though it was yesterday, you eat too much, you know it makes you feel it the next day. And for me, I see you back there laughing. The table I went with, they're all back there laughing at me. But I literally wanted to be able to provide 100% Brandon. Because if I can't come up here and be authentic and genuine for you guys in a presentation about connecting with customers, I can't go out and tell everybody how to change the world, because I'm not going to do it. You're all going to do it by changing you. That's how we change the world.
Good answer.
Thanks, I try. Anybody else?
Will there ever be a superfood that emerges to compete with cannabinoids?
So I can't answer that. The question is, will there ever be another superfood that can compete with the cannabinoids, correct? So Did you just say kale? I hate you. So I can't answer that because we're seeing the benefits of hemp right now, but we need to be able to break barriers in a different way. Meaning, these testings that we're doing and finding what we can do and what it's doing to our bodies, knowing that we can use these cannabinoids in so many ways. So, everybody's heard of CBD, but let me throw some things at you since I still have a few minutes. Does anybody know what CBN is? I love this guy. Not my staff. So CBN is actually the last cannabinoid that's produced on the hemp plant. You want to know something fun about that? They actually have medical proof that CBN is a cannabinoid your body produces naturally as the last chemical before you fall asleep in your brain. So have CBD right before you go to bed. It's going to slow your mind down, let you reset and fall asleep naturally. Add 10 milligrams CBN and guess what's going to happen? You're going to see your body fall asleep naturally and not give you a melatonin hangover. Remember how I said I have a mental illness? If I take melatonin, I literally wake up and am suicidal the next day. And that's not to insult melatonin, but it is. But at the same point, that's why I can't take it. So if I have trouble sleeping, I have to break away from that. And we all have had trouble sleeping. So how do you do this? Take the cannabinoid plant and start taking the benefits of a healthy plant and putting it into packets. So nobody has judgment on you. You can walk around, find your calm, balance, and delight. Also, you can turn around and at the end of the day, just put it in a drink, put it on your dinner, and know you're going to fall asleep naturally without that hangover. Has anybody ever heard of CBG or CBO? I see you. So CBG, CBO, both of these are cannabinoids that right now they've done studies in California and in Chicago where they're seeing astronomically phenomenal results about, am I done? I saw you tap, okay. I'm like, I don't want to go over. They're seeing astronomical results on what it does for the benefits of PTSD, anxiety, and depression in vets. And what I mean by that is they literally are getting the CBN or CBG all out by itself, extracted from the plant, and you can smoke it, and somebody who is in a mental state of pure PTSD, they're living in a moment where they're broken and they're mad and they're not with us. They're able to provide them that little bit of a hit, and that CBG knocks a person right back in, knocks these vets right back into where they were before and helping them rebalance themselves. For me, seeing these results and seeing what we're seeing through tests, I want to see more done. I want to open up doors to colleges where we're not just using it to say, oh, it's a party thing or anything. No, we should be using it to benefit our health, using it to benefit our bodies and all that. And for my vision, I see my company being one where we're able to help each other. We're able to build something so different nowadays that you want to learn about the cannabis plant. Even if you've never smoked in your life or you smoked once, and you're like, oh, it was a horrible experience back in high school. Guess what? No smoking, no oils, no sugars in the gummy. Just you finding you. Oh, God, Brett. And?
You talk about smoking, but the CBD oftentimes gets confused with the THC.
So that's a great point. So a lot of people ask me right away, they were like, hey, how do I know I'm not going to get high off of this? So the legal registration is you have to have at least 0.03% THC in your thing. So don't worry, I got that. I got you. I'm not getting you high over here. So what we do is we focus on being able to explain the difference between CBD and THC. THC is something that's going to give you a little bit of a euphoric high, a head high. It's going to help you be able to clearly think things out a little differently. Now, if you have a CBD isolate, you need a lot more of it. So my 15 milligrams of a full spectrum product is the same as 1,500 milligrams of CBD isolate. And that's because this has that 0.03% THC. It kicks the CBD up a notch to help you be able to get the best benefits of what you're looking for. So if anybody has any anxiety today, go see my guys at the booth. We have 2 booths over there. And I'd love for you to get a sample, get your card, and connect more on this. Because the cannabis industry, the tech industry, and the health industry are 3 that can go hand in hand to be able to make a difference. And Delight Cafe is the place you're going to go to help change the world. So guys, sign up with me.
Is Delight Cafe already an app?
So no, it is not an app. And the reason it is not, She asked if it was an app. I saw the mic. So it is not an application yet, and that's because we're actually we're working on that. The goal for that is to be able to make it where, like I said, we do a morning, that was fun. We do a morning show, and we do a leadership show. We have all these different ways of connecting with our customers, and when the app drops, we want it to be where you can watch a show, to be able to have an open conversation with mental health experts, to even being able to help you understand like why the food that you put in your body, like kale, is the best thing you can do for yourself. It's meant to be where those questions that we all wonder, like what happens if I eat that ho-ho late at night? Well, tomorrow you might have that sugar high and not sleep that well that night, but the next day you might be feeling a little lethargic. Why not just eat an apple? Why not try a banana or something? So many of us are trying to just get through our days, and it's easier to grab a pack of Ho-Hos and go to Taco Bell than it is to actually take that moment and make our food and make the better self of ourselves. Is that a good one for you? That's my goal, is to have people go to the app and do that when I have the app. See, I always hate when someone coughs because I feel like it's like I bored you guys. Does anybody have any other questions?
What about CBN?
Oh, CBN. CBN does a lot of benefits for people. CBN helps you, like I said earlier, fall asleep and all that. The benefit of the CBN is your body will help it, so you don't want a heavy dose of CBN. If you were to take 100 milligrams of CBN, that'd be like taking 1,000 milligrams of CBD in a full spectrum product. So with CBN, you want to be able to actually have a product that is, you want to have a small dose with the CBD, because the mind is going to slowly, your mind's not going to run at night. And with CBN, it's going to help you just push that natural falling asleep energy out of you. And that's what you want. Like, how many of us could use a good night's sleep? Oh, don't lie to me, people. I see those hands. Come on. So both. So for me, being able to provide a CBN product that's as simple as a pack, it makes your life easier. It helps you fall asleep. And then those anxieties of the day that you were having to run through your head, like I got to finish X, Y, Z, I got to call ABC, stuff like that, they fade away. You fall asleep. You wake up the next day refreshed and able to bring your best delightful self to everybody. I think I'm good. Any other questions? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. What's up?
Just curious about potential impacts on REM cycle taking CBN or CBD before sleep.
So that's a great question. It's actually stuff that they're just starting to do research on in colleges and universities around the world. So with that, they've noticed that the REM cycle is actually kicked in earlier. So usually when you fall asleep, it's like 15 to 20 minutes before the first REM cycle is actually going. And then you always want to sleep long enough that you get a good night's sleep to get to the third REM cycle and actually dream. The fun thing about that is they're noticing with CBD and CBN, people are hitting that cycle earlier, getting a better night's sleep, and they're wanting to make the next step changes. They're literally seeing that a full night's sleep without that melatonin or anxiety that was in them is now all of a sudden gone, and they're able to get that best them sleep. Did that help? Perfect. Thank you, guys. Oh, I see one last one. I'm sorry. One last one in the back.
How do you see your company and business compared to some of the competitors?
I love that question.
Can you repeat it?
So he says, how do you see your company compared to some of the competitors? I'm going to say this the nicest way I can, and if there's any other CBD companies in here, please know I'm not insulting you. I see my company being one that connects with customer base because of the fact I actually care and want to. I've noticed so many businesses that are built in this industry to make a quick buck, to put oils out, to put gummies out that anybody can make anywhere. And for me, that's not acceptable. I want to know what I'm putting in my body. I want to know what I'm giving to people. And if I'm not going to put it in my body to my mom, give it to my mom even, I shouldn't be selling it. And I can tell you right now, I've done so many CBD oils that I didn't feel anything from. I smoke weed, and I'm just being honest with you on that, and that helped me. But the CBD oils and that didn't do crap. How do you get people to believe in something when you have people who can sell stuff for $15 at a gas station, and then you go to a dispensary and it's $120. What's the difference? It's the actual product that's being made, manufactured, and what's really going in there with testing. So Where's my product different? Where's my company different? We're not only just trying to provide you a good product that we use and we are not afraid to talk about, but we're also we don't need 55 other products. We don't need 100 things. We literally just need to be able to provide you an honest product and help you find your best you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.